Mastering the art of closing deals. 4 top strategies for agents. What can you do to close more deals in your real estate business today? What are the 4 important things that you can do? Hi, I'm Paul R. Atkinson, your professional coach, and today we're going to talk about these 4 unique systematic approach to closing more deals. Before we get started, remember, in the description of this video, click on the link that's going to help you to be more productive and close more deals in your real estate practice or your sales business in particular. But what are these 4 strategies that we're talking about today? What are the 4 things that we can do to ensure that we're closing more deals? Number 1, that's for you to build trust in your marketplace and also with your clients. So how do you build trust in your marketplace? Here is what comes to my mind and what you should be thinking about. How can your marketplace trust you? If they are to Google your name, or if they were to search on their computer in their marketplace your name, will you show up? And what will show up? Will they be able to see an image of you, a photograph, that is consistent everywhere they go? Because you know what? Psychologically, that has helped me to build trust, and I'm sharing it with you. So inside of your marketplace, you want to make sure that everywhere that you market yourself, it tends to have that same image of you, that photograph, that shows your eyes, that people could look and say, hey, I think I could trust this person. It's very important. So you have to build trust. Now, that's in your marketplace. But what about building trust with your client? When you've got a client, how do you build trust with them? How do you get them to like you and believe in you? There's a couple techniques, that we use inside of my books. I've written 2 books that you could research, but let's just talk about it in this session right now. Building trust with a client can come very quickly if you're able to deliver on what they're wanting to see and what they need. And not only that, but when they tell you something, you're actually listening and you're actually repeating it to them. Isn't that interesting? Listen, pay attention to what they're saying and just repeat it to them. Let them know, hey, you know what? So you're saying that you're wanting to do this and you're needing that. Is that what you're saying? Am I hearing you correctly? That's just a part of the way you can build trust. And plus there's a lot more to it, but I want you to dig into that and just think in your mind right now. I'm not going to give you all the goodies here, but you need to think. What can you do to build trust in your marketplace and in your clients? I've given you some examples. I want you to expand upon that. Number 2 is for you to influence and persuade your clients in all of the presentations that you do with them. So for example, the initial presentation that you do with your buyer or your seller, that sets the tone for the relationship. But I want you to continue that, because as you're giving them updates and you're giving them results and you're answering their questions, I want you to do it in a way that you are influencing them and you are persuading them. Now let's define influence. Influence is when you are having an effect on the audience. So think about influence. You are having an effect. How do you have an effect? Well, we teach in our academy a few things about influencing person. Number 1, when you're talking about influence someone, you want to make sure that you know without any doubt that you are responsible for sending and receiving. So sending here or whatever you do and receiving the information from the audience. Secondly, you want to also make sure that you understand, in order to influence someone, it takes some things for you to do. And that is, you should be educating them and you should be inspiring them. So if you're educating them, you're kind of telling them a process, or you're telling them how things should go and what they should expect. And then you're inspiring them because you're kind of like reminding them of the outcome once they get past this. Isn't this amazing? Remember, in the description, click on the link so you could get more of this. I can't go deep here, but influencing is where you're having an effect. And that effect comes from how you're sending and receiving and what you're doing to educate them and inspire them. Now, we also said just a moment ago that you are also persuading them. Persuade. So we said influence and persuade your clients. Well, how do you define persuasion? What does persuasion mean to you? And how can it work in your business to close more deals? Persuasion is caused from reasoning. So we have the influence. Now here comes the persuasion. It's from reasoning. It's from in that person's mind when you've given them the information, they're reasoning amongst themselves in their own mind, and plus you're there to support them by looking at their behavior and answering the questions as you're moving along so they can be persuaded. Isn't that important? Influence and persuasion. Two very important part of you being able to close more deals. That was number 2. Now, let's move forward because we're halfway done. Number 3, ABG. Always be growing is what I say. You should always, like a karate champion. This topic is about mastering the art of closing deals. Mastering the art of closing deals. So that means that you are practicing, and ABG means that you're always be growing. So you should always be growing by practicing your skill set, practicing your systems, looking at all the things that you're using. Your CRM, are you improving on that and making sure that you have everything set up right? Your selling skills, are you making sure that you're reflecting on all of the presentations that you're given and seeing what you could have done differently, what you could improve upon? Are you taking feedback from people without criticism and just understand it's just their way of seeing things because of what you did? Are you doing that? Because you always should be growing. And this is why the top producers are always growing, and so can you, because in today's session, and we're talking about it right now in this video, you're able to learn and understand this, that you should always be growing. What are you growing? You're growing your mind, you're growing your body, you're growing your health, your spirituality. All these things is growing. And in your business, it's all important. Which leads me to number 4. Number 4, in order for you to be a master at closing more deals, is your mindset. What is the mindset that you have right now, and how can you improve your mindset? Because your mindset is very important. When you enter into a day, a work day, you have to think about it beforehand. You have to visualize that day being a true success. Many years ago, I'll tell you a really short story. Many years ago, back in the 1990s, now I don't want to put a date on myself, but it's many years ago. I had my very first coach. Her name was Pam. And I'll never forget that, how she changed my mindset. By having this coach in my corner, she was able to hold me accountable on a daily basis for more than 30 days. That broke me into a habit, a new habit of being accountable and having the right mindset. But being accountable for what? Being accountable for my daily activities and making sure that I'm seeing and visualizing and manifesting and seeing the work and feeling and believing in myself that all my events for that day is going to be a success. And that's why I put it in my book, both my books, The Nuclear Mind. The Nuclear Mind Technique is a systematic approach to you making sure that you have a strong mindset each and every day. So before you engage with any clients, you're already practicing, you're rehearsing, you're getting your mind strong, because you're going to get beat down. We all get beat down as a salesperson. But how do you pick yourself back up? How do you get up when someone says no? How do you get yourself back on your feet and moving on to the next phone call or the next task when you've been beat down? You have to have a strong mindset. Those are the 4 things that we talked about today, and the topic was mastering the art of closing deals. 4 exact techniques that you should be using to build more business. Now remember, in the description, click on the link that's going to help you to close more deals. Give this video a thumbs up, and also remember, if you're listening to this on a podcast, give it a thumbs up as well. But for sure, make sure that you are paying attention and growing your business. It's always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you, hearing from you again. Until next time, you know what I like to say. Let's go get him, Tiger. I'll see you real soon.